at you!
What is up, everybody? This is Atticus, the Death Metaler, and I gotten this story from my friend Cherie Alexander, who sent this to me in a group, and upon reading this, I was absolutely just flabbergasted and offended at the same time, where I had to get out of my school, and yes, I was at school at that time, and I had to face house my school's building, because it was that fucking stupid. Now, it has to deal with people who abuse the welfare system, Sweden, and of course, metal. And yes, keep in mind, this has to do with metal a lot. Now, many of you are very familiar over my friend OfficialGATG and his video against one of our favorite welfare queens, Monica Punk. And yes, Bile, the Wale, still hasn't got his passport so he can travel back to Sierra Leone, so I could die from Ebola.
My name is Bile the Wale, and yes, I am Monica. And to appease Monica Punk, I will head back to my homeland of Sierra Leone, where I will die a violent and painful death from Ebola.
I had to put that right there. If you want to watch my previous videos I've made on Monica Punk, here in the description below. But I'm getting a little bit off topic. ADD moments. Now, what does this have to do with Sweden and metal? Well, Sweden has been known in the metal community for bringing out some of the greatest metal bands known to metal. They've got Amon Amarth, Arch Enemy, As You Drown, At the Gates, Bloodbath, Dark Funeral, Hammerfall, Hypocrisy, In Flames, Catatonia, Opeth, Sabaton, Scar Symmetry, and Soilwork. But, to one metalhead in Sweden, listening to all those bands and a bunch of other metal bands across the world has gotten to the point where it has become an addiction. It's become a serious, legitimate addiction. Like if he was snorting cocaine, or drinking bottle after bottle of booze, or injecting heroin. I'm not even fucking shitting you right now. This person right here, who goes by the name of Roger Tolgren, recently had his obsession with music declared an addiction, meaning that he has unable to hold down a full-time job. I'm not even kidding. This guy recently had to bring a bunch of psychologists together to actually claim that this motherfucker is addicted to metal. Now, I can understand many of you people are going to look at me saying, "Oh, Atticus, the death metaler, this article has been old since 2011. You're being irrelevant." Motherfucking bitch, I can do whatever the fuck I want with my channel. The reason why that I am talking about this, I will get to later in this video, because that has to do with this current shitstorm that Sweden is going through right now. Roger currently works as a part-time as a dishwasher in Hasselholm, but this will soon be supplemented by state disability benefits. Like, really? Like, this whole trend of this welfare thing going on really absolutely just really pisses me off. And this guy's a metalhead. He's using the same thing for his addiction, his supposed addiction to metal, to basically live a lifestyle where he just basically works for nothing. Well, aside from his part-time job doing the dishes at a restaurant. According to NME, the 42-year-old consulted a number of psychologists to testify the extent of his dependency on heavy metal. "I've been trying for 10 years to get this classified as a handicap." He tried 10 years to get this classified as a handicap. So what you're trying to say here, Mr. Tallgren, that people like me, who listen to metal, are handicapped. Why? Motherfucker, why? I spoke to to 3 psychologists, and they finally agreed that I needed this to avoid being discriminated against. Either these motherfucking psychologists are trying so hard to be politically correct, or they're just absolutely insane themselves, or the revolutionary front is basically putting these psychologists on gunpoint to make them even more politically correct. And I'll get to the revolutionary front in a minute. Roger reportedly attended almost 300 gigs last year. He says he got hooked on heavy metal at just 2 years old after listening to Black Sabbath. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Sweden here is that Sweden is in some real shit right now. They have problems with immigration, they have problems with like other shit going on. They have a welfare problem as well. When I'm talking about immigration, what it has to do with the Revolutionary Front, if you don't remember me talking about the Revolutionary Front, go back to my Charlie Hebdo video where I briefly discussed about the Revolutionary Front. What the Revolutionary Front are social justice warriors on steroids. Basically, if you're in Sweden and if you have an opposing view, if you're not politically correct enough, these motherfuckers will go out of your way, call you a supreme shitlord, go even much more further to vandalize your house, and even much more further, they will go as far as murdering you. I'm not even fucking kidding. These motherfuckers are real at what they're doing. They're going to the politically correct bandwagon to the very utmost extremes, where basically if you're against the immigration policies, if you're against what Roger Tolgren is doing, you're basically deemed a supreme shitlord. You're deemed as a Nazi. You're deemed as of the far right. Even if you don't associate with the far right, you're deemed as a xenophobe. You're deemed as anti-Islam. You're deemed as Islamophobic. That's what you are to these motherfuckers. And I also recently read another article that if this keeps going up, Roger Tolgren, the Revolutionary Front, and a bunch of these other politically correct motherfuckers, and of course the influx of Muslim immigrants pouring into Sweden, by the year 2030, Sweden's gonna be a third world country due to all this shit going on. I'm not even fucking kidding. You can go around and say that I am a xenophobe, you can call me a supreme shitlord all you want, I don't really fucking care. But Sweden needs to take care of its citizens. Sweden needs to get its shit together and just try to break down some barriers. But it's going to be pretty hard because the Revolutionary Front has become so widely popular that they're basically just tackling down these motherfuckers, vandalizing their houses, and going as far as to murdering these people. Now, keep in mind, I am not of the right or the left. I am basically independent in my own gains. But seriously, oh my god. Now to the metal part. If this keeps on going, and since this article has recently been posted after a couple of years, thanks to Reddit for getting its hands on, and even fucking Kerrang posting this article after a couple of years of laying dormant. People who don't generally call themselves as metalheads are going to think that all of us metalheads, like me, are deemed lazy shitfucks who abuse the welfare system. And that is completely fucking invalid. I am just so automatically just so fucking pissed right now that this person will go as far to say that listening to heavy metal is a disability. I find this atrocious. I find this absolutely deplorable that listening to a certain genre could be comparable to an addiction and a handicap, a disability. As a person who listens to metal and is mildly autistic himself, I find it absolutely atrocious and very degrading towards metalheads. I'm not even fucking kidding. And people are gonna go around and make this overgeneralization that people like me are retarded and can't hold down to other jobs. Look, I'm a dishwasher myself at my job that I've been working at for 5 years. I'm currently just being taken off hours because of my school schedule, and I recently applied for a job at Home Depot in which I am still waiting for their response. And I work my ass off. I would as much as, it would be cool to be on welfare, but then again, it's going to be much more shitty to the people who work their asses off, who live in like apartments or condos just to make ends meet, and for people like me who are just basically saving up money to pay for my college tuition to get me to the right direction I'm going to. This is the reason why that countries like Sweden, the UK, and even here in America, we have a welfare problem where people like Roger Tolgren, Monica Punk, and this fucking fat fuck from Scotland are abusing the welfare system, and they can get away with it because everybody who jumps on the politically correct bandwagon will go as far as to defending these people, where we reward laziness and condemn hard work. I'm afraid for what's about to come next. And just so you know, not all metalheads are lazy fat fucks. If people are gonna overgeneralize us, because I've seen a lot of metalheads who work their asses off to get certain releases they are going to get, to save up some money for some venues, or even go as far as to, saving up for trips for Wacken Festival. I came across a group of old school metalheads at a venue, and they showed me pictures of their time at Wacken Festival. And you want to know how they did it? They had jobs. They worked their asses off. Go to these venues to support the bands they love. Hell, I do it myself. So I don't go around and act like a lazy fat fuck to take away all these welfare checks, to be on disability. Because it does suck for me, because I'm kind of low on money and I need to apply for jobs so I can work. That's all I gotta say, because just really talking about this more really just pisses me the fuck off. I'm outraged. I'm just absolutely outraged that this motherfucker is continuing to do what he does right now. Roger Tolgren, you're a disgrace. Not to Sweden, but for the entire metal community as a whole. You are a fucking disgrace, and you would deem that your love of heavy metal is an addiction comparable to being an alcoholic or a meth head or a coke head. Shame on you. Without further ado, I am Atticus the Death Metaler. Hope you like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Links are in the description below. Keep it metal. Have a wonderful day.